Hello once again everybody, it's Ninelord, and today we are back with yet another PC building video. So right here in the video you'll see the beautiful Charlie DeSalvo, and we are helping him build his computer today. So, I say today is a relative term. Today was about 4 months ago. So, we are putting this video up as a part of my continuation to the senior project. To show that I've done my work and to show that I helped someone out. And, well, not only that, but I like PC building. So I want to share that with you guys and see if you like this as much as I do. But anyway, we're not going to wow, I have very good grammar today. We're not going to waste any more time. We're going to get into it. Right now I'm just talking about the motherboard and the electrode static discharge bag that I will be mentioning in a few seconds here. So I hope you enjoy, and yeah, let's just get into the video. A little bit, that should help. Okay, we're going to close the box here. One thing in PC building that I want to preface is you should always keep your motherboard right here in the bag. Just build with your bag on. That works. No. So you want to put your motherboard on top of the box. That's a good like kind of leverage point. And then when you take your bag, the ESD bag, electrostatic discharge, if you were wondering, right there, ESD. You got to put that bag on top of this box right here, and then put the motherboard on top of that, so that you don't have any electrical currents going and zapping the whole motherboard and everything is bad. So we're going to get started with... So the video kind of cuts out here, but I was basically just saying that we're going to get started with the video. My phone actually died while I was recording this, so I'm sorry if there are some points where it's a little vague on what's happening. My phone was on a very low percentage, and I should have been more cautious about that, but let's go. Just keep going. Keep this truck moving. Keep trucking. I'll stop talking now. Alright, so Charlie is currently putting in the RAM. We just put in the...
I feel like I just broke it right there.
No, you didn't. These popping up. So you push these down.
Yeah.
Oh, my mother is calling. Let's pop. Wow, thanks a lot, Mom. No, but anyway. So at this point in the video, you heard a loud clicking sound, and that was the RAM being clicked into the motherboard. PC parts are a lot sturdier than you might think. You might think they're very fragile and can be broken very easily, but that's not the truth. You know, they're designed to have a kind of toughness to them so they won't crack easily. That's the whole point of a computer, is you don't want your parts to just be breaking super easily. So cracking or, tiny little crack sounds are okay. It only becomes a problem when you hear a really big kind of clicking noise. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. It sounds kind of like this. That is not something that you want to hear. However, tiny little clicks and little shifts are okay. It's just the RAM sliding in or the graphics card sliding in, etc. So this next part of the video, you'll see me explaining the CPU cooler. We got the CPU cooler on. It's a little bit of a difficult job. You got to get some accuracy and some lining to it. There's a lot of thermal paste on it, which is something that keeps the CPU cool when you put the CPU fan on. So I was not able to show that while we were recording. However, this little part that I'm showing you right here prohibits you to put anything on the CPU. For example, a cooler. That's a nice close-up of Charlie's eyes, you'll see. Anyway, it allows you to put the cooler on, or it doesn't allow you to put the cooler on, and because of that you need to take them off, and you can put the CPU on and put the cooler on, and that's basically what I was explaining in this part here. And the thermal compound that I use personally is the Arctic MX4. I really love that compound. It keeps my CPU nice and cool. So if you want a link to that, I will give that to you. Just ask in the comments below. Anyway, right now I am taking out the graphics card and we are going to soon put that in. I believe we put it in, and then after we do that, we hook the motherboard into the PC itself. So we will get into that in the next part here. Also, this dog is freaking adorable. You'll see. Electrostatic discharge bag.
You got your socks on the carpet, Hunter.
That's fine, because I'm touching the electrostatic discharge bag. Alright, here we have a electrostatic discharge bag that was thrown at me. We also have a NVIDIA GTX 1060. As far as... let's turn that music down a little bit. Perfect. Okay. As far as graphics cards goes, it doesn't matter what brand you get, because as long as it's NVIDIA, as long as it's GeForce GTX 1060, it's basically going to be the same all across the board. So over here we see Charlie playing with the fans, and it looks really cool on the camera. Okay, so here again, Charlie, I'm going to tell you...
Yeah, okay, it doesn't have a port.
It doesn't have a VGA port?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
It has DVI.
DVI, yeah, that's standard.
So
okay.
Let me...
We can grab that later, because we're not going to plug it into the monitor yet.
Grab it now, though, so we don't have to worry about it later.
I want you to plug that in first. Okay, so this is the fun part. There are these little pins right here. I push these down. As soon as Charlie plugs this, I'm not showing it. There are, this right here, it's covered, so you need to take that plastic cover off. Boom. So now, these pins connect in right here.
Like that, right?
Yes. So these are going to connect in. It sounds a little weird. We might be able to hear it here. Boom. Pushed in. Alright, perfect. And you can't really see it, but all the way down in there, try to focus it onto it, we see that it is stayed back down, and that means that our graphics card is in, and as you can see, I'm giving it some resistance upward, and it's not coming out, because it clicked nice and easily down. Let's move this more.
There's a cable there,
and as you can see here,
two cables for the lighting of the case and stuff.
Yes. So this one right here, this blue one, as I mentioned before on my case, the blue one is to power, so that when I click this button here, it will actually power on. And then we have our reset button up here, of course. We have our 2 ports and our USB, which are also down here. And just before we get too much more into this, I realized that button up at the top is not a reset button. It is actually a button to change the color of the case. So that was pretty cool. There's a tiny little light strip and it changes the color. We figured that out a little bit later. But yeah. Which one? I believe it was, let's see. This one. So they're very tiny. You can barely see it on the motherboard, but do you see those characters there? Each place on the motherboard will say something. Like that says JRGB1. This says PCIe. Over here, if the CPU is off, it would say CPU fan. I can actually show you right there. It says CPU_fan1. So it's there to kind of help you out a little bit. But those really tiny 1 pins are really a piece of work. So hopefully we don't have to deal with them in this case, but if we do, it's not going to be that big a deal. So we're going to put this into the case. We have the nice, beautiful Phonetics case here. Most Phonetics case that I've seen are really nice, really high quality. They normally have this little filter down here for our power supply to clean out all the dust. There's not a well, there's a filter up top, but it's not removable. We can't clean it.
Yes, it is, Hunter.
It is? Oh, it's magnetic like mine. So I'm just being a silly Billy. Okay. So Charlie corrected me on that. Anyway, the motherboard, it's going to have, let's see, there is one of the screws there. There's another screw somewhere over there. Screw hole. There's another screw hole, screw hole, screw hole, screw hole. So we're going to screw this in. Problem number 1. Motherboard did not provide us with screws. Sorry, there's something on my phone. So we have our 9 screw ports here laid across the motherboard. You notice we did take the graphics card out. I'll tell you why later. The motherboard did not provide us with screws, so we're going to go look in Charlie's garage to see if he has any screws. So a little bit of a goof on my part here. I totally forgot that the screws are held in the HDD bay, the hard drive bay, of most motherboards, not motherboards, my bad, of most cases, and in this case, no pun intended, they were right there, and we totally forgot about them, and I was really stupid, and I drove all the way home and had to grab my own motherboard screws before actually thinking to myself in the car, wait a minute, don't those come in the case? So I screwed up there, but then again, it's all part of the learning process, so I'm glad that I got that out of the way, and we ended up unscrewing all of the screws that we makeshifted to fit in the motherboard and put a whole other set of the actual screws that are supposed to go in the motherboard in, and we will go from there. And the reason I took out the graphics card was, well, if you're smart, and again, if you know what you're doing, which I knew what I was doing, I just, it was my first time, so I was a little nervous building someone else's PC, but you gotta take the graphics card out because, well, I mean, how the hell are you gonna fit the graphics card in if you can't even put the motherboard on? So yeah, that was just a little bit of a goof, but again, got over it, and I knew what I was doing right after that. We got it all fixed, so not a big deal. Let's get back into the video. Okay, so a lot happened while the footage was off. There's a lot of different cords and whatnot here. Motherboard, screws, this is my fault. The accessory box comes standard with every single Phonetics case that I know. It is located right over here in these drive slots right here. So that is totally my bad for forgetting 100% about the screws. Another thing, I cut myself, but we're fine because I got a Band-Aid, and Band-Aids are good, Band-Aids are great. So we got the motherboard screws in, Charlie screwed everything in, everything is it's just smooth sailing from here. We just have to do everything now. Graphics card's gonna go in next. We're gonna put we already have the SSD in its nice little containment here, little Kingston. It's a 120 gigabyte SSD. It's really just to help Windows so it can go faster and the load up time from when I click the button to when it actually loads up. I'll show you the post. We'll see if it posts. I'll put everything else in and we'll show you that. We have the panel open right here for the HDD. Pop. There it is. Slide that back in. Now we are going to hook in these two little cords right here. I don't know if you guys remember on my case how I was saying these are going to be a little pain in the butt. I was also saying on this case it probably will be too. These are for the LEDs. It gives a plus and minus already, so I don't have two tiny little 1-pin cords right here. And then this is the power button to make sure that the power button works. It doesn't look like there's a reset button for this computer, which is a little odd because we would be having a reset plus and minus, but this is okay. So what we're going to have to do is right down here, there's not a lot of light, but right there, you see how that says JFP1 right there. Those little pins, we gotta connect these cords right here into those pins so that it works. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm just gonna skip over a lot of this because I realize now, looking through all this footage, I'm basically babbling the whole time, and you guys really don't want to see a 30-minute video because you can hardly go through 20 minutes as it is. So I'll just quickly explain what's going on. We take the power supply out, we hook that in, we get that into the wall, we get it into the graphics card. We hook the graphics card into the motherboard. We hook the HDD and the SDD up to the motherboard so that they can run the programs. And we get to the post screen, which is what I'm going to show you now. And after the post screen, it's basically just us setting everything up, getting his keyboard and his mouse to work, and that is basically all. So let's just skip to all that right now.
Keyboard's lighting up. That's nice. All right, and looks like we're posting. F1 to run, setup, F2 load default values, and continue. Click F2. All right, here we go. So it posted pretty quickly, actually. Pretty fast post. It's turning back on. Keyboard's back on. Monitor's turning on. There it is, MSI. Reboot and select proper boot device, or insert boot media and selected boot device and press a key. Okay, yes, put that.
Yep.
You gotta restart the computer.
Turning it on.
Okay, there we go. Okay, Windows Boot Manager. So we're gonna do Windows Setup 64-bit, and you're going to click Enter.
I think
Loading
it's
files.
64-bit.
It is 64-bit.
Okay.
So basically what just happened is we plugged in the tiny little, very cute USB over there. The computer recognized it as a device, and it is installing all of the files necessary for Windows.
To install in the United States.
No, we're in Spain, dude. Spanish. Spanish is our language, bro. Alright, install. Now it's going to install all the necessary files from this tiny USB. It's installing all of it. It's using the hardware and the SATA cables. The SATA transfer is going into the SDD or HDD. It'll choose one, and then from there we will move it. So right now he is going to put the Windows activation key. I'm going to blur it out so you guys can't see what he's entering.
Instead of blurring this whole thing out, I'm just going to skip over it. There's not really anything interesting here. It's just us putting in a product key and installing Windows. I'm just going to skip to us getting the PC on and maybe installing a few games, and that'll be the end of the video. So we are coming very shortly to a close. I hope you guys have enjoyed this far, and let's get back to it.
When can I hook these up?
When can you hook them up?
Yeah.
You can hook them up as soon as everything on the computer starts to load.
Okay. I'll just take that out.
Slow down there, hotshot. Everything's got to load. There's still lots of hardware that's got to download. The aspect ratio, let me just tell you. Oh boy, it's going to be like 1280 by 600. That's not even a ratio, but all the drivers on that why am I forgetting what's called? The GPU, all the drivers on the GPU have to install. So the aspect ratio is going to be weird.
I call myself a computer enthusiast. Yet when it comes to something as simple as a graphic processing unit, a GPU, I can't freaking remember the name or acronym. I'm disappointed in myself. Come on, 4 months ago, self. What the heck were you thinking? Whoosh! That was a smacking sound, by the way. Anyway, let's get back to it.
I understood none of that.
Got it, Charlie? Don't eat my thumb. It's late. Almost there. Boom. Windows. See what I mean? Look at how terrible that aspect is. Just look. It's like 800 by 600p. Just... Okay, we're gonna fix this up. We're gonna get it all nice and... First of all, delete Microsoft Edge because it's haunting my night dreams.
But according to Microsoft Edge is faster than Firefox and Google Chrome. Or at least that's what they say on the school computers.
Oh my gosh. You're too funny, Charlie. Everyone knows that's just a silly little myth. Okay, we're gonna fix this. We're gonna get everything... Yep, the drivers are downloading. We're gonna get everything going, and it'll be good.
I am not connected to Ethernet. I know. I'm very sorry about that.
So I will come back here when we get everything up and running. Just film me. Just film that. Not me. I'm ugly. So here's what we're gonna do to set Charlie up. We're going to go to, let's see, NVIDIA. Did I type that wrong? I did. Okay.
Okay, so basically here I'm just gonna go through on the video really fast and I'm just gonna voice over what's happening. So I'm going to the NVIDIA website and I am installing GeForce Experience on his computer so the drivers on his graphics card can install correctly and the aspect ratio can return to its normal state and whatnot. So that's just what's happening right here and that's what you're seeing on the screen. And now we are getting into installing games. Boom.
Alright, so we have gotten to the end, basically, of this PC build. As you can see, we have Charlie. Go back to the bottom. No, very bottom. On the right. Keep going to the right. Yep, except that. Okay, so we're installing drivers still. He's installing some apps that he wants to, installing a few games. That's pretty much it. So, Charlie, do you have anything to say?
No.
Oh. Are you...
I don't like talking on camera, Hunter.
Oh. Are you excited at least? Alright, that's good. So we got his PC over there. We got the computer over here. We got the everything else. So that's pretty much it. We got another happy person. I'm glad I was able to help. And yeah, that's it. So bye-bye. Beautiful art, Charlie.
Actually.
We'll end on Charlie's beautiful art.
So at this point in the night, we were very tired. So we just decided to end the video there, and then we picked it back up in the morning again. And that's basically where I left it off. We installed a few games. He was into Fortnite at the time and Destiny, so we got Fortnite, Destiny, and Overwatch running for him. And that's basically where I ended it. So I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video. Even if you didn't get all the way through, that's okay. Even if you don't hear me saying this right now, that's alright. As long as you show an interest in computer building, that is totally fine with me. I appreciate you being here and coming to even watch just a little bit that you can. And just thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity to just be heard. And that's really grateful. I'm really grateful for that. So I will see you guys in the next video. The next video that I'm going to be putting out is the explanation of all the parts and all these acronyms that I've been using all the time and what they mean. That video is going to be a lot shorter, a lot easier to digest, somewhere around 5 to 10 minutes. So yeah, thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.